Yes, it's recording. Okay, let's begin. Hello, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Injury Time, your one stop shop for everything on Indian football. Well, talking about Indian football, the Indian Super League is on, and this episode will be talking a lot more about all the matches that's happened from the last time we recorded the show. So it's been quite some time. So it's been like 7 to 8 matches that we need to discuss. So, and to help me do this are three eminent guys. Two of them, all of them have been in the Indian football scene for quite some time. One chap is taking a sabbatical, but yes, he follows the matches as well and making his comeback on the show. Vishnu Prasad,
Evan, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. You sound a little down. I'm assuming it's because I just woke you up from sleep.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, that's the way it is because all of us are up and running, and so is Sandeep. Sandeep joining us from Bangalore. Hey, man, welcome back on the show that has been your home for the past 4 years.
Has it only been 4 years? I thought it's been longer than that.
Could be, could not be. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it's been a while though. Yeah.
It's been a while. He just lost count of the years. And also, Shlok, welcome back.
Hello.
All right, guys, let's just start right away because there are a lot of matches to discuss and let's not waste any more time of our listeners. First up, the latest match, Mumbai were up against East Bengal, running away 3-0 winners on the night. Shlok, coming to you, a Mumbai fan guy from Bombay. Quite happy with the team's performance?
Yeah, definitely it's a step up from whatever we did against Goa. We were creating more consistently today, defending better as well. So yeah, very happy with the result. It's like that perfect result, 3 goals, 3 points, clean sheet. Just go on with the stride, yeah.
Well, result apart, Vishnu, the team also looked pretty comfortable the way they played in the initial 15-20 minutes. It looked like a Sergio Rivera side, didn't they?
Yeah, I think finally they did look like a Sergio Lovera side because I don't think the first match especially they looked very shaky. I mean, they didn't look like. I think it must have been the lack of a proper preseason and the fact that he did not get enough time with the team affecting it. But they definitely did not look fluid. And today, I guess, was a perfect opportunity because they were facing East Bengal, who were the one side, who was probably the least prepared side for this league. So they had to make that count, and they did. He'll be happy. Lobera will be happy.
Well, the first two matches, Sandeep, Mumbai did not look like the way we all expected them to look this season. But slowly but steadily, they are growing into the team that we all envisaged them to be. No red cards, thankfully, for the team. 11 players started the match, 11 players ended the match. What were your takeaways from the scene?
So I'll be very honest in saying that I didn't really watch this match so much because I was really busy at work. But I was following the commentary throughout, so and of course watching the goals. But one thing that has been recurring is the fact that Adam Lefondre is now finding his feet, which we all knew he's going to find anyway. And he's just starting to score. And the scary part is he's the number one. Their number two is Hogbeche, who is an immense goal scorer in Indian football, scored in multiple teams and those kind of things. So their firepower is unbelievable. And last week, I also had a chance to talk to Sai Godard and Farooq Chaudhry, which the episodes will be coming out as soon as I finish editing them.
Pretty soon, is what we say.
I am traveling and stuff, so it'll be some time. But
Very soon, very soon.
But very soon. Yeah, from all the conversation you can gather on and off the record while we were recording, whatever you understand is that he's going to let them do what they are best at, the players. So if Sai is the one who wants to go through the wing and cross the ball, he's going to let him do that. And Adam is the guy who's going to. You saw how desperate he was for that goal in that second goal. I think when he ran, 10 seconds from one end to the other. So things are all coming together. Lobera is letting players find their feet and helping them to sort of flourish in that sense. And they had Jahu back, which is a massive plus for them. So I thought
absolutely, man, absolutely.
Yeah. All this without watching the game.
Well, that is some insight. So I would suggest that you don't watch matches and read a lot more of commentaries.
No, I was listening to the commentary.
You were listening to the commentary. Okay, that also helps.
That's a bullshit commentary section they have in ISL. I'll be very honest. Some shitty goals and all will be like outstanding finish and all. Like a tap in.
They get paid to do that, man. Stop blaming them. They get paid to write what they want.
Naveen used to be one of them, just to.
So that's why I'm saying they get paid to write what they want. You write what they ask you to write. Well, Vishnu, coming back to the game, like Sandeep mentioned a while back, Lefondre finding his feet. In the past few weeks, the only discussion about Mumbai, or the prominent discussion about Mumbai City FC has been how will Lobera manage both Lafondre and Barth in the team? Will he play both of them, or will he be, if one of them will be pushed to the wings like Lafondre was in the opening match? Seems like Lobera settled for this. Lafondre starts and Barth comes in, given the age that Barth is now, 36 plus, and Lafondre is comparatively a younger striker.
I don't think he needs to start both of them because look at the calendar, man. It's going to be a long season. Like I think the matches are going to come thick and fast, and players are going to need to be rested at some point. And when that happens, it's teams like Mumbai and ATK who have amazing depth who are going to shine. And so it's not like I don't think it's going to be the case all season that okay, Lafondre starts and Vijay comes in. At some point, Lafondre is going to be needed. Like he's going to need some rest. Others will have to step up, and that goes for all players, not just these two. And I think that's why Mumbai is one of the favorites for the title, despite their somewhat shaky start, because their depth is just amazing, and I don't think that's a luxury that most other teams have. So.
Well, talking about that depth that Vishnu was talking about, Shlok, in that game against Goa, the second game that Mumbai played, they needed a plan B and they struggled for quite a long time till that penalty came in the 90th minute. What did you make of that?
Yeah, so what I really noticed was in the 70th minute, that's when everything changed. A few substitutions were made then. I think Rakib came on for Ranaude, Sai stayed on, Bart came on for Farooq, and I think Vignesh came on for Mandar, who had a horrible game, to be honest. And what happened then was that Bumu started playing way deeper than he would usually. He stopped playing between the lines, and then he started playing in somewhere Jahu would play. But yeah, a plan B is evident because that game we really struggled. And, performing in the last 20 minutes is very, very, it's shaky. You can't rely on that if you're coming up against a team like BFC, ATKMB, who just hold on for so long. You can't always expect goals at that time, right? Although with this game, and, I think Lobera might have like a, more well-formulated way of going about with different games. You can see that he had a switch of personnel. He didn't start Sai this time, and he had Hernan and CB for the East Bengal game. So I think there could be something different on the cards. So
something different on the cards is what even FC Goa wants, isn't it, Vishnu? Especially after their game against Northeast a few days back, where things happened more off the field than on the field.
Yeah, I mean, look, they haven't had the best of starts, but I think Goa will get it back on track because I think Ferrando did mention it in one of his press conferences that it's not easy implementing that sort of a philosophy on a set of players who are at least a lot of them are not familiar with this style of play and all. So as we saw with Lobera did not go in when he came to FC Goa. He wasn't topping the table at his first attempt, nor was he winning the thing. So it's something that will take time, but I think we have seen enough signs that the process will be successful, and they've got a good coach, they've got a good setup, they've got some good players, and yeah, at the end of the day, that's what matters. I don't know what their final position will be in this season because it's so short and there's virtually no time for anything. But I think if they persist with Ferrando in the long run, I think he'll do something similar to what Lobera did. Definitely.
Well, Sandeep, talking about the long run that Vishnu just spoke about, should we look at this FC Goa when they actually play the AFC Champions League, because that is where the competition will be a little more tougher in that sense?
No, I think we should look at them in ISL as well because that's the bread and butter. Champions League, maybe they won't get it next year, who knows? So that's just an extra caveat on everything. But I still feel Goa is probably one of the best teams in the country. I really enjoy watching them play. They've been sort of unfortunate and some things have not clicked in their favor at times. So it's just been one of those things that is difficult to explain. But as far as the team and the performance and the individuals and qualities of the coach, everything is concerned, I still think it's only a matter of time. It's like if they click into gear, then I think that's it. And other teams will have to.
And I think Chennai showed us that if you're not doing too well in the ISL, chances are that you won't do too well in the Asian competitions as well. Absolutely. So they couldn't really, change that run around in time for the Asian competitions or for the SC Cup. So definitely, I think the form in ISL will be is something that needs to be looked at.
The form in ISL, one team that has always proved their form in the ISL is ATK Mohun Bagan. And last week they had the Kolkata Derby, first time under the banner of ISL. I'll come to you, Shlok, first. Comfortable winners at the end of the match, but what did you make of the game? There were signs that East Bengal could spur up a surprise, probably, but am I reading too much into it?
I don't feel ATKMB deserved a 2-goal margin of a victory against East Bengal. Quite honestly, the goals came out of very strange situations, like Roy Krishna scoring, very low chance of that going in, and then Manveer also. It was a goal that was born out of desperation from East Bengal's side to go up and try and getting an equalizer. Narayan's defending was also very questionable there. So it's just, I feel like this the match was set for a goalless draw had it not been for that, Roy Krishna screamer. East Bengal certainly did really well, given that it was their first game in the ISL. And
isn't that what Roy Krishna does? He just makes most of that half chances and comes and scores. You always know that
Roy
Krishna has been doing for the past season long.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like, certain times there's off days, there's on days for strikers. One day he's going to miss like he's going to miss a sitter, you know how it is with him. But he is a class striker. Yeah, you can't afford to give him that space. That's true. I don't know. I felt that East Bengal losing by 2 goals isn't as fair to them as the narrative seems to be. Like, they did a lot better they weren't beaten completely. They weren't dominated.
Well, Sandeep,
Did I predict 2-0 last time?
I don't remember.
Yeah, and I went for the 3-0.
Well,
I went for 3. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Sandeep,
do
you agree with that?
It's the most obvious scoreline you can have with as an ATKMB Mohun Bagan team, because that team is built to stop others from playing. And Habas was very smart in using Jayesh Rane in a place where generally Pranay Haldar plays, because Rane, provides that vertical run with the ball, the movement with the ball. And the first goal came from his run. He made the run and eventually it flicked off somebody else and all went there, but he is the one who started the move. Yeah. So tactically they're spot on. East Bengal has nothing to worry about at the same time when I look at them. Their number 6, Steenman, I think his name is, the German midfielder. He's very good. Pilkington is very good. Their foreigners, the two centre backs are very good. Most of the things look good. Their Indian players maybe need to step up a little bit. But 2 games in, like Vishnu earlier said, they had a very short preseason. A lot of things have to be worked through the season. Right. So I think they'll improve as the season goes by. But absolutely nothing surprises me about ATK anymore. They just come here, stop others from playing. Roy Krishna, half a chance. That guy is going to score a goal. If absolutely not him, David Williams is going to score.
Code, man. It's just not fair, honestly.
And the best part is they have cover everywhere. Like they lost Usai, they have Subhashish there.
Right.
So they can lose player and they'll be absolutely fine. They lose one of the centre backs, Sumit Rathi is right there. For me, he should be starting, but it is what it is in Indian football. Because let's face it, Sandesh Jingan, I think in the first game ran more than, equivalent to a midfielder. Now for a centre back to run that much, it means he's running to make up for some mistakes he's done. So he needs to play and for a year he hasn't played. So he needs to get that rhythm and everything back. So it's going to take a while. I don't see them scoring though. Diri is stopping everything. When Sandesh makes a mistake, Diri is right there.
Right. ATKMB might not be conceding, but East Bengal, what about their personal, especially the Indian players, Vishnu? Not the best bunch that you could gather for a team, right?
No, definitely not, because again, I agree with both these guys in the sense. I was pleasantly surprised by East Bengal because I personally expected ATKMB to just hammer them, and that wasn't the case. 2-0 was probably an exaggeration of what the match was like. And I guess I don't believe East Bengal deserved to draw, but at least they deserved a 1-0 loss. So, but then I find them very similar to what Hyderabad FC was, the spot that Hyderabad FC was in last season. Because if you remember last season, they were very underprepared. Everything was so last minute, and that showed throughout the entire season where they just looked like they weren't ready for this whole thing. And I fear that East Bengal is in the same position this season. Like they have got good players, but everything has there's a sense of everything being very hastily assembled when other people if you want a contrast, Mohan Bagan for that matter. They had this plan in place for months, so they knew who their players were. I think Jingen was signed up way before it was even announced that East Bengal was coming to the ISL.
Right.
So yeah, so that's, I think, the difference we saw, and the difference we will continue to see is the difference in the time that East Bengal was given to prepare by like circumstances, I'd say. So it's going to be difficult for them, and Robbie Fowler might have been a great player, but as a coach, he's still more or less unproven. We don't know what it's not like he has a track record of being a very good coach. So it's going to be, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. And regardless of their performance against ATK, if you look at today's performance, it's going to be a long season for them, definitely. But yeah, I mean, hopefully somebody can, if you remember the first ISL season, the way Ian Hume carried Kerala Blasters, if they can find one person like that, then yeah, it might be a better season for them than it was for Hyderabad last season. But otherwise, I fear they're going to be pretty much where they are right now.
Well, I'm backing on CK Winning to be that person, but I'm pretty sure he might not play many matches.
There's so many weak links though in their team, right? Like you just see like the Indian striker issue that they have, and then Danny Fox going off today, and then they're just game plan just going in disarray after all that.
Well, I think most of the
I would
problems.
also like to say this. Okay, they started late in ISL, but these guys are planning to come to ISL for a long time from what we hear, right? Through the ether of Indian football, what we hear is like these guys are ready to come.
Yeah, but the thing is, until they got into the ISL, they would have found it extremely hard to get the players on board. And by the time
from what I hear, they promised players coming in, the Indian ones coming in, that we will be playing in the ISL and not in the I League this year.
So well, you can do that with
and then they have the whole
they can promise it, but the players need to buy it as well, right?
Exactly.
They probably have been hearing about it for a while.
Even if it did
they
happen,
had the whole Omid Singh episode also, where they signed him, then they didn't sign him. Like
even
that, I mean, for years I've said this, that is a very badly run club. It's about time that someone put that ship right, because Quest was a good partner to have, because they seem to have a vision. They had a decent plan in this thing and all, but they ruined it with the whole Super Cup fiasco.
And yeah, that's what worries me about this season as well, because I fear that in a couple of weeks Fowler's going to be gone because the way
because there's already some talks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so that's how they operate. That's their history. Lose 4 matches, fire your coach, get it over with. So
Trevor Morgan came to Bangalore one time. I think he was a coach, and he was like unbeaten or something like that in the beginning, and then immediately by the end of the season was out.
Yeah.
I think one of my
well, what are the odds? What are the odds of Robbie being the first coach being fired?
I think he is definitely. I think the only competition he has is from Kibu Vikuna maybe.
Vikuna,
because Kerala, if there's one club that can give East Bengal competition for being really badly run, that's Kerala Blasters. Kibu is a great coach, but I think they're going to get rid of him.
It's a very trigger-happy club.
Yeah, they get all these long-term coaches in, and then they wait for 5 games and then fire.
Yeah, they have like 4 long-term coaches in every year. So
yeah, exactly.
Well, since we are talking about Kerala Blasters, let's talk more about their match against Chennai. Vishnu, you covered Chennai since the very first season, and now that you're in Kerala, you've been following both the teams. What did you make of that match?
He's in Bangalore, man.
No, I'm in Kerala right now.
Come on.
I plan on coming to Bangalore, but
I know where I'm at the start.
Right now I'm home, I did see that match, and I thought it was no surprise that Chennai basically overplayed Kerala. But I mean, I think all Kerala Blasters fans are, I'm not one, but all Kerala Blasters fans are probably used to that by the time.
Caveat, I'm not one.
Yeah, I just need to protect myself against,
Since he's in Kerala.
Yeah, because Kerala Blasters the moment somebody finds out you're a Kerala Blasters fan, there are so many different sections gunning for
Oh
you
man.
on Twitter. So, but no, I think the thing is, again, see, they've got a good coach, but I don't think they're the way they've gone about getting players have been that good. They're like, obviously, I wouldn't say losing Jinkan was such a big blow, because as Sandeep mentioned, he'll take time to get back to his best. But the thing is, they haven't really replaced him with anyone. I mean,
Well, was it losing Jingan or was it getting rid of Jingan?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not privy to those details. But the thing is, if Jinkan's at his best, he's probably the best Indian central defender. It will take time for him to get back. But I get back to that. But I believe he will get back to that. So, but the thing is, see, even if they had planned to retain him, they would have known that, okay, this guy has a long-term injury. You need to get somebody there. You need to you have so many areas on the pitch that you need to bring in more people.
But
and they haven't done that.
Isn't Bakari Kone a certain marquee in that position?
I mean, the thing is, the foreign players, they will take time. I can only think of a handful of foreign players in these last 7 years who just come in and made an impact straight away. So no matter how good you are, you will take time, because come on, this is not something that you're used to.
Right.
And this season especially is going to, there is no time to adapt basically. So I think especially for this season, a wiser strategy would have been to trust players who know what this is like, instead of just bringing new guys in, because it's just 4 months basically. There's little to no time to adapt and get used to things and whatnot. This is like those old ISLs of the 3 months when they used to begin that in October and end in December. This is like that. It's not the longer seasons that we were used to over the last couple of years. So the thing is, their foreign player, like their Indian players, are not the best. They're hyped up Sahal like anything, but Sahal is, to be honest, is like everything Anirudh Thapa was for Chennai, and that should be what Sahal should have been for Kerala Blasters. But for whatever reason, he's not that. That's not been the case. It's said that he's injured. It's last season also. It was said that he was injured, which is why Shettori was not playing him every week. So the thing is, I don't think they have a good team. I don't think even Vikuna has been allowed to bring in a good team, because historically their management has been not the best. So whenever something goes wrong at Kerala Blasters, I tend to just automatically blame the management. That was the case last year as well. So yeah, it's just sad, because it always pains me when not just Kerala. If you look at East Bengal for that matter, these are teams with ready-made fan bases,
right,
with a bunch of things that other teams are going to have to work maybe a decade to create, and they're just throwing it all away because they're not very good at running a football club. And it's just sad. It goes for East Bengal, it goes for Kerala, and I think both these clubs and both these sets of fans, they deserve much better management than what they've been used to, I guess.
Well,
Maybe the finance aspect of it also comes in, right? When it comes to Kerala, like we saw them lose out on so many key players this year. Ogbeche was supposed to stay, but then he jumped.
But I don't think that's anything to do with finance. I just think it's the way they are running the club and negotiating, because they paid Gary Hooper a lot of money. They could have retained Ogbeche for the same money.
Right.
It's just
and Hooper, I was really disappointed by Hooper, because he doesn't look like he's up to it.
Let me tell you one thing about Hooper. Hooper is coming from A-League, if I'm not wrong. He was playing with Wellington.
Yeah.
Last season, he's not had a really good record. He struggled there as well.
Yeah.
I don't know why were people expecting a lot from Hooper. A person like who in the past few seasons has been really struggling to hit the strides.
I don't even think he started 15 games, to be honest. And then they were going off about how he's probably like among top 3 strikers in the league. It's just deluded, honestly.
Right. Well, let's move on from one mismanaged team to a team that is properly managed to some extent, if I may say so. Chennai FC, Sandeep, what do you make of this team? We saw a few glimpses of Fatullo in the last match against Kerala, a team that has been rebuilding since their coach left. A bunch of their foreigners also left along with the coach. But the team doesn't look in trouble that much.
No, they're a good team. They've done a good job in retaining the right players and getting the right foreigners. They've gone completely away from the way the rest of the country is operating. And it's just like get one A-League player and fill your team with Spaniards.
Right.
These guys have gone out and found players from different parts of the world to come in and do a job for them. I think it will work for them fine. Kerala, they could have scored 2 goals, 3 goals in the beginning itself if they had been clinical or had a better pass at the end. And Kerala slowly grew into the game later on. And I think they're absolutely fine. And obviously, Vishnu will know more than me. They are a well-run club, right? They've always been someone who didn't follow the grain, and they ran the club very well. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. They're. I think they're one of the best run clubs in the country. They're up there with the likes of Bengaluru and Goa and all that. And I think what struck me over the years is how they've managed to retain a core in the way that even when they let players go, there are other players who've kind of stepped up to form the core who've been there. And it's like if you look at somebody like Thapa, I think the way they've handled Thapa is amazing because he came in, he was eased into the team. He's 22 and he's been with the club for I think 4 years. I think they signed him in 2016 if I'm not wrong, and that's massive, right? I mean, Indian football, you bring in an 18-year-old, you help him break into the club team, you help him break into the national team. You are now arguably your club's most important player. You're one of your national team's most important players, and so the way they've developed him is, I think it's brilliant, and they've done that with a bunch of other players as well. Like initially Changte, initially they did
Jerry.
very well with Jerry, but Jerry is, I think, tailed off last season a bit. Hopefully, I think he came on as a substitute if I'm not wrong. He didn't start.
Right.
I think
He didn't start the last match.
Yeah. So I don't know what his role will be, but the thing is, they managed to keep all these players there, and even with and the thing is, of all the foreigners they had last season, they managed to keep the best one, and they handed him the captaincy as well. So I think he is basically running the team now. It's I think Krivilara was brilliant in both like the games they played. So that way they've done very well, and it's like you can contrast that with the guys they played then that game, Kerala Blasters, who basically struggled to, I think, with the exception of Sahal and even Sahal, I guess it's only been a couple of years. Long term, there's literally not one player you can connect with the fan. The only player that was there was Jingan, and he's gone now. So so they're still running things like the initial ISL, which was like the 3 months, whereas teams like Chennai and Goa and Bengaluru, they've started running things like a proper football club, and I think these other teams need to catch up fast.
Well,
and once, just to add to that, like the Chennai team, right? Like he mentioned, bringing in Thapa and Changte and things like that. This year, if you see them, they have Deepak Tangri who's come on, who's doing quite well now, and they have other Abhijit Sarkar, who is also another interesting player. Aman Chetri. These are all players who are going to have chance now. And look, Deepak Tangri just came in, took over the place that was Edwin Vanspaul, Sydney Vanspaul last year. So you can see that they are doing their scouting well. It's the same with CSK also, right? They also did their local scouting very well, like Mumbai Indians do. These guys also do a very good job in the local scouting, and then they develop those players. And that's the key part. And very few clubs can say that. I don't think any other major club can say that they are bringing in this many players who are, two of them, Changte and Thapa, already national team, Jerry also at that level.
Right.
And now you have the next generation coming up. So how many ISL teams? I-League teams, sure, lots of them. How many ISL teams can say that they've bought in these young boys, given them an opportunity and made them into one of those stars or potential stars?
Well, Sandeep, let me take this to you again. Do you see any weak links in this team, or do you see them like go the distance this time around?
Yeah, they can very easily go the distance. I don't know if there is any weak links as such, because I think the only thing that can derail them sort of is if one of their foreigners get injured, especially that Sikovic or Elisabia.
Right.
Both of them are very important in terms of guiding because the other people around them are not that experienced. Like Fanai has been playing for a long time, sure, but he's not played recently.
Played, right.
Yeah, so they'll need him. And Crivellaro obviously is massive. So unless an injury or two is going to derail the season, I don't see anything else because they look like a very settled side, and they need some more fitness as well because they can do it for half an hour. Now you need to know stop
Okay.
and then
Right.
recharge. Yeah, like you remember Liverpool going like headless chickens for 15 minutes, scoring 3
Yes.
goals and then doing
Very
nothing.
well. Very well.
So yeah, they need to score in that burst or they need to pace themselves out, which they will learn as the season goes and fitness improves.
Well, another team that need to learn throughout this season is Bengaluru FC. Sandeep, I'll come to you in a bit, but Shlok, that match against Hyderabad ending in a goalless draw, to me it seemed like a match which Hyderabad should have won.
Yeah, it was Hyderabad's game to lose that one. And Bengaluru, even though they scored 2 goals against Goa that day, they were just again they came out of like Goa's mistakes. They didn't like make clear cut opportunities of their own in the box, and this is just something that we've seen Bengaluru struggle with so often again under Carlos Quadrat, right? And Hyderabad just looks so good this season. Unexpected, I thought they're gonna be bottom 3, bottom 4 maybe, but
Well,
now
we
they're
spoke about that team being a bogey team for some of the big ones.
yeah.
Team now looks like a team that could probably be there in the reckoning for the top 4.
Yeah, actually, I mean, again, their depth kind of concerns me. But even as Sandeep said about developing players, bringing in these young stars and making them mainstays, maybe that is what Hyderabad is doing here. They've got Akash Mishra, who's just 18. They've got Abhishek Haldar, who's 21, 22. They've got Hitesh Sharma, who came from ATK reserves also. And there's just all these fantastic Indian youngsters that they're giving minutes to. And you can see even Liston Colasso, even though he hasn't
Right.
started, everyone just knows how good he is, right? If they don't struggle with injuries, and they are with the foreigners, and if they just manage to keep their form, they can do so well. And Bengaluru, the fans are angry, and everyone just seeing them tumble. They've really not managed this whole takeover well from Roca to Quadrat because they're getting all these players in, and there's just so much confusion over where they're going to play. Ashik is playing at left back, Udanta's now a wing back, so just what's really happening, it's
Well,
just confusing.
Sandeep, you spoke about square pegs for round holes. That is something that we continue to see in that match against Hyderabad. They have that problem of getting goal scoring personnel in their team. Have they?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer in that we always look at Bangalore as at least the reputation wise is that they find players who are going to be big stars and they do this, they do everything right. If you look at the recruitment, a lot of them have been hit and miss. A lot of them have been hit and miss, and it's their miss sometimes because Onwu went on to score in a situation where he was getting the
Right.
ball fed to him
Right.
as opposed to expecting him to do things. Same thing happened with what was his Chencho. There was a time when Robbie Morales was signed without properly looking into his situation because he was carrying an injury and then he didn't play after that. And so Miku was a success. Before that, I think probably Sean Rooney was a big success.
That's the first season we're talking.
That's the first and second season, and they had that North Korean striker as well, who was sort of okay, Kim. But beyond that, they have not had a really successful attacking player that they signed. Now Clayton looks very promising. Ball bounces off Ospeth.
Right.
And it's just, and if you are going to be the holding, the striker who's going to play back to goal, bring people in, he has to hold the ball up, and he can't keep falling down at every touch and thing. And
But probably they should recall Robinson for that.
I mean, I don't know. It just feels like, and there is zero creativity. Carles keeps talking about Dimas coming and changing the game.
Haven't
Not
seen
sure.
that happen so far.
He's going to give them another dimension, but I don't know if he's going to give them what they are expecting.
The question
at
is,
the final third.
even if Opseth, he's supposed to nod on balls, but who's running behind? Who is he supposed to nod it on?
But
to?
never got the ball to his head. No, they're playing it to his feet.
That too. I just feel that they don't have those. They're not playing the players who are just able to run behind or attack properly. So Neil is so wide. Clayton's in front of Opseth, which makes sense. But there's no Udanta on the right. You don't have anyone who's exploiting space as such.
But it just seems like we said this before. There's going to be a hard season for them. They are mentally very strong, which can be the only reason why they can get through with this. But I'll tell you this funny thing though. I was covering that match, and I know Vishnu and Naveen can relate to this. It's one of those games I have to write a match report, and nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. I'm just sitting there. Around 70 minutes, I started worrying. Like, what am I supposed to write? Because they're going to leave this much space for me, and I need to fill it.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking and thinking and thinking, and just nothing was hitting me. Finally, I heard the commentator say that this game has an option for someone to be a hero. That's my story. Like, there was a chance for a hero, but
I
nobody
think that's
stepped
one
up.
of the big problems with covering in the corona age is that I think when nothing is happening in the match, you automatically go to the crowd. But now there's no crowd.
There's no crowd. You don't
So
know
what
what
do
to
you
go
do
to
now?
now.
If you're there, at least you see different things, right? You see the whole stadium.
Yeah.
You can see the
Exactly.
formation. And you
So
can write
then-
here nothing. Because I asked Carles, why did you play Udanta as a wing back? And he said, no, Udanta has not played as a wing back. You saw it like that because it came maybe it was on TV. So I'm now worried to write
Amazing.
what formation they are playing. So I didn't want to take the chance. I was just sitting there until 70th minute thinking what to write. And then this was my story. I was like, ding, this is it. This is what it is. And at one point, the six players are lining up with the offside line. And there was Dimas deep and then three defenders. And they were hoofing ball up at the end. So it's like, talk about Route 1 football, right? That's
Yeah.
if they score from there, great. But Aridane
Set piece,
is
I've
probably
But
should
will
have
they
scored.
score from there? Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough season for them. I said this before, and I feel like they
Yeah.
have done a
With
great
a lot
job.
of ifs and buts, a team that with a lot of problem up against Chennai FC in their next match, Vishnu. What do you make of that? This is a match in the past that has been much talked about. There is a lot of talk that goes into this match, and often it's been exciting to watch, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it will be heated for sure. And I'm not really comfortable with labeling Bengaluru as the underdogs here, but I think I get a feeling that in this match, at least on current form, that is what they are. Because Chennai is looking much better, but I like it's very difficult for me personally to peg Bengaluru down as underdogs because I've seen them come back from produce
Yeah.
tough and important matches when they weren't really looking too good in the build up. So I'm not going to do that, but I think this is going to be a very good match. The way both obviously I think Bengaluru has enough players now who understand the importance of this fixture. So it's the fact that the crowd is not there. I don't think it's going to matter that much. It's still going to be heated, definitely.
Absolutely. Sandeep, what's your take on this match? Bengaluru FC up against Chennai FC, two former champions.
Well, I agree with Vishnu. Even I am not going to put them in as an underdog in any situation because they can pull it off, and they have Sunil Chetri, who is always able to score a goal from nothing, and they have the set piece or whatever. One of the things Hyderabad they just didn't concede any set piece in the final
Right.
third. I think
Right.
they had only two set pieces, something that they conceded. So once you do that, you take away one of the major
Weapons.
weapons that they have, and then once that is gone, then you can deal with everything else that they can provide. So it seems like an interesting game. Carles looked like he's under pressure. He looked really like he's under pressure these days, and it stands to reason. The last year, I think that AFC Cup exit was a very tough time for the club. We all know how much they value playing
Right.
in Asia. So not having that chance, luckily they managed to get the option this year as well. So they have to really do something. I don't say spectacular. They just have to do what they're expected to do because this club. When he spoke to Carlos before the season, he said that the teams are always going to go through ups and downs in their history, and the whole purpose is to try and push away the downs as far as you can hold them. Right.
Right.
Let's see if they can hold them off for another season because they need to reset. It's an aging squad also to a certain extent. So.
Well, having said that, yes, Vishnu, you were adding.
No, I think it's a really weird time for everyone at Bengaluru, including the fans, because I don't think in their history they've had been in a place where they could say, look, the team's not doing well, so maybe we need a new coach. Like both the coaches that they've had before have gone out, I guess, on a high, you can say. I'm not sure if that's the right thing, but then I think this season, if it goes on like this, they may find themselves in a position where they say, hello.
Well, an underperforming coach needing to leave.
They're not going to sack him.
Yeah.
I think they'll see through the end of the season and then change.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be in a position where people say, look, the team is not doing well, so maybe you need like a new guy. And I don't think they've ever been in that position before ever since they were founded.
I've had
Yeah.
tweets from people saying that Roca should be leaving and things like that after he didn't win.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't think that was like a popular sentiment, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
in the first season
yeah.
they didn't have a great time, but second season he showed what he was working in. They smashed
Right.
their way to the top of the
It's
table.
about living up to the dynasty that they've created, right? Like that whole thing they had gone 6-6 and whatnot, so many trophies. But now, even with their core that's slowly aging, and then if you look at them financially, if now all of a sudden Mumbai is above them, then 80 kmb and East Bengal probably soon enough with Sri Cement and all. So they may not be able to go toe to toe with buying the best Indians in maybe the next couple of years. So maybe that could be a part of their downfall. So who
Well,
knows?
a
But
new
they
life
had the
for
highest
Bengal
price when
FC.
Miku was the highest paid player when they had him.
Yeah,
So
they
it
lost
works.
But going
the
ahead, that
sponsor
might
this year,
change.
right?
Yeah,
Going-
it works both ways. I feel like they now have to find out a different way to win
Right.
the game. I think they have enough people who runs a club who knows they can do it. It's just a matter of finding the right ingredients, so to speak.
Right. Because
Well, we've spoken a lot about this, but I need a score line here, guys. Come on, Sandeep. What are you predicting for this match?
So 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Vishnu, do you stick to that or do you have another one?
0-0.
0-0. Come on, Vishnu. Sending goals here.
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
just
I'm letting you
going
stick
for
to
the
your
mark.
prediction. I'm letting you stick to the prediction. Slow, give me goals. Come on, what's your prediction?
Yeah, 2-0 Chennai. Let's be
2-0
optimistic.
Chennai. Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. I'll put it up on social media. So let's see who gets it right so that we don't.
I just hope it's a good game to watch, honestly. I mean, it's not been the case for the past 2 games they've played. But I hope, some team or the other produces the goods.
Well, on that note, with that hope, let's wrap up this episode, guys. Thanks a lot for joining in. And guys, listeners, this is for y'all. Tune to us on our episodes wherever you find your podcast. And also, we are on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And our handle's name is Instagram. Our handle's name is what? Injurytime.ind. Tend to forget that, right?
No dot.
Yeah, there's no doubt, okay? Injury Time IND, there's no doubt. Well, until we bring you the next episode of Injury Time, have a great time and enjoy the game.